Welcome to the Potomac and Chesapeake Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. I have a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphones are turned off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to sign up for more. This presentation is being recorded and we will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/PCACAC. I'd like to now turn it over to our presenters. First up, we have the University of Louisville.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Let me get it in slideshow mode. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. My name is Robin Komar, and I am the DC Metro Regional Admissions Officer for the University of Louisville. So my territory is Virginia, Maryland, and the District of Columbia. So this slide here gives a couple little highlights about the University of Louisville. We are a public research school located in Louisville, Kentucky. Many of you probably know we're in the ACC conference, so we are a Division I school. However, what's surprising to a lot of people, and you can see in one of these little slides here, we're 12,000 undergraduate students. So we are not super big for a D1 school. We call it the Goldilocks size. So it's a nice size. So you get the school spirit and the energy of a Division I school, but it's not super overwhelming. Campus is very manageable. You can walk from one end to the other end in about 10 minutes. It also translates into smaller class sizes. Our average class size is about 26 students. So I always like to share that because that's a little bit surprising to people. We also are very diverse. We're really proud of our diversity. You can see there we've been recognized as one of the top LGBTQ friendly universities in the South. And we have diversity in its many forms, racially, culturally, regionally. Quite a few of our students do come from out of state. We have regional reps all across the country. So we do have a really strong out of state student population as well. And then diversity, culturally and racially as well. And that's a picture there up top of the skyline. And so there's lots, we're about 10 minutes from downtown Louisville. So we are located in Louisville. Churchill Downs is our next door neighbor. And then downtown Louisville is about 10 minutes away. This is an aerial snapshot of the campus. So like I said, very walkable, very manageable. You can walk from one end to the other end. All the athletic facilities kind of surround campus. So at any given point, you can kind of go to a game, and the men and women's basketball team does play in downtown Louisville. And we've been recognized as one of the prettiest institutions in Kentucky as well. And it is really pretty, lots of green space, lots of trees. We have 200 majors and 12 different colleges. So I won't get into all of them right now, but we have a little bit of everything. The highlights that I like to always point out is our College of Engineering. You can see there our JB Speed School of Engineering is a co-op program. So what that means is we have a built-in co-op component into our engineering. That is a paid, that's 3 semesters and it's paid. So students get hands-on paid experience in engineering. We have a 97% job placement rate for engineering. Our College of Business is a really strong program as well. We have a really great nursing program, and we do have an affiliated hospital in downtown Louisville where our nursing students get that hands-on experience as well. And we also have the one major that's become really popular is our exercise science major under our College of Education. So students are able to do a lot of really neat things with our athletic teams through that major as well. So we do have a little bit of everything. I wanted to mention that we're a Carnegie One research school as well. So if you're interested in research, you will get that opportunity to do that research. So we have right there on the bottom, you can see we have a lot of pre-professional programs. So we have pre-law, pre-medicine, pre-dentistry, because we do have professional schools on our health and science campus. So if you're a student that's interested in STEM and research and some of those pre-professional programs, we'll be able to support you with that. Our cost of attendance for out-of-state students is about $38,000, and that's everything. That's room, board, books, and tuition. And so, I know college is not cheap by any means, but it's a pretty reasonable amount, especially when you consider on our next slide, I'm going to share with you our regional scholarships. So we have two. I know some of you are coming from the DC metro area and then outside of DC metro, but still kind of in the Virginia, Maryland area. If you live in DC metro, then you get this automatic $10,000 award, and it goes up to $16,000 based on academics. I should mention that we are test optional. So we have decided we'll be test optional next year as well. And so if you're coming in and you're coming from the DC metro area, you're going to get that $10,000 automatic award, and it goes up to $16,000, and it is renewable every year. So if you take the $38,000 and kind of factor in right off the top, you're going to get that 10,000, potentially more. It's a really good value. And then if you're not living in the DC metro area, we have a national scholar program, and it's a similar kind of level. It's not as much, but it's still an automatic award that you get to apply against your tuition. And then finally, I always like to close with just how to apply. We're a Common App school. We have our own application. Our application will go live August 1st. We're rolling admissions. We review applications as they come in. That scholarship that I just referenced, you're always eligible for that. There's not a hard and fast deadline, but we do have a deadline for kind of our full ride scholarships and our honors program, which I definitely, if you have a 3.5 or above, I definitely would encourage you to kind of consider that. And it's $25 to apply. So you can do Common App or regular. We are test optional this year. My name is Robin Komar. I'm kind of your person. If you have any questions, I hope you check us out. Lots to do, really great location. If you like the Kentucky Derby, that is our next door neighbor. So thank you so much for having me tonight.
Thank you. Next up, we'll have High Point University.
Well, thank you. My name is Ryan Dillon. I'm one of the senior admissions counselors here at High Point University. We are a small to medium-sized liberal arts school of about 5,000 undergraduate students with about 1,000 graduate students here in sunny High Point, North Carolina. So about an 8-hour drive from New Jersey, about a 6-hour drive from Delaware, and about a 5-hour drive from the DC area. In North Carolina. We have an amazing programs for students all across the spectrum of the liberal arts education. And we really love to give students the opportunities to find what they're excited about. It seems like my number 10 kind of fell off there, but we have over 60 majors here at the university. These are our top 10, being undeclared, business, biology, exercise science, and psychology being our top 5. But we have students doing everything from PT, PA. We have a doctorate in the School of Pharmacy, as well as students doing astrophysics and astronomy in our Cope Planetarium, which we'll get to in a minute. But we have amazing students being able to do everything that they could think of, anything over the sun, because they have such an amazing access to their professors in these different degree programs. We have a 15-to-1 faculty to student ratio, with 100% of our classes being taught by faculty, with 85% of them having their terminal degree, which means that they have the highest degree possible in that field of study, which is an amazing resource for students to be able to ask those questions so early on during their freshman year. We have a 4-year graduation guarantee at HPU. So it means that as long as you're doing everything you're supposed to do, you have a guarantee that you'll graduate in 4 years with a tuition and including, a tuition-free 5th-year master's program in business and communication leadership. So being able to make sure you're graduating in those 4 years and offering this 5th-year tuition-free master's program, allowing students having more opportunities when they didn't think or might have not known that they had those opportunities. And for those students, like if you're this kind of sounds like you, that have no idea what you want to study, don't worry. We have amazing programs that allow students to really identify what they're doing and what they are passionate for in the field of academics by working with student success coaches, which help build those bridges between senior year of high school to freshman year of college to make sure, okay, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and not hating going to work every single day. We have amazing housing and campus life here at HPU. We are a residential campus with 99% of our students staying on campus almost all 4 years. We have a 4-year housing guarantee at HPU, never have to worry about not having housing while you're here. We have the top 10 best dorms in the nation, and we would love to have you on campus. We are doing full tours of those campus, of all of our campus locations, as well as our dormings. So please come by and say hello. We have 13 different dining locations, as well as free parking all over our campus for students. All you need to do is register your car with our campus security. Talking about the planetarium for our students that are studying astrophysics and astronomy, this is a look at one of our amazing facilities in the field of astrophysics. This is our planetarium. We also have amazing boardrooms that help students be able to get into the feel of, okay, this is what I'll be doing every single day, and it won't be super overwhelming when I actually go out into the real world. With such a residential campus comes a vibrant student life. So we have 16 NCAA Division I teams, including basketball, lacrosse for men's and women's, soccer for men's and women's, as well as a top 10 in the country women's volleyball team. We've had 4+ of our teams go to the NCAA tournament this year for their respective sports. So we're very proud of them, as well as over 150 different clubs and organizations, club sports, intramural sports, 7 fraternities, 7 sororities on campus, as well as different religious groups as well. With so many students on campus, we have always gotten what makes you different. And we think that our development of those students' life skills and how they're going to be able to do well in the world ahead is exactly where we're able to really differentiate ourselves. We help our students build your resume. We help you learn how to do an interview in our different interview rooms. We even have a course on just how to be able to sell yourself to an employer. We want to make sure that students are able to talk about their experience in a confident manner so that those dream jobs are not dreams. They're available and have the opportunity to go out and grab it using the different alumni networks that we have. We have students that are working all over the country in Fortune 500 companies, doing exactly what they had set out to do, and they love to help those students coming from their alumni organization. So making sure that you're being able to tap into those networks is what a life skill is all about, and being prepared after the college experience. And we also allow students to have some amazing access to innovators from all over the world, not just your professors. So you can see on the bottom right-hand corner is Steve Wozniak, who's the co-founder of Apple, and Mark Randolph, who's in the top left, who is the co-founder of Netflix, are both innovators and residents at HPU and actually work with our students on a day-to-day basis on different projects that they have. We also do a lot in the service fraternity, in the service world. We had 110,000 hours of community service, and students really love giving back to their communities. We do have an application that opens on August 1st, and we have different application deadlines for November 1st and November 15th. But if you have any questions, please come down and visit, and here's my information. It's great to be able to speak with you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your night. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up is Lincoln Memorial University.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Carly Adams. I'm one of the admissions counselors at Lincoln Memorial University. Lincoln Memorial University is located in Harrogate, Tennessee, which is outlined right here on the PowerPoint in red. So we actually border Kentucky and Virginia. Kentucky and Virginia come to a point right here. So we sit right on the edge of both of those states. We have almost 5,000 students here. However, only 2,000 of them are undergraduate students. The rest of that population is actually made up by our graduate and professional students. So we have, which I will get into a little bit later in the PowerPoint, but we do have graduate and professional schools on campus here. So you could go all the way through from your bachelor's degree all the way through your master's and your professional degree right here on campus. Our average class size is about 14. So our faculty to student ratio is 14:1. And let's see if I can get this to flip to the next slide. There we go. Okay. We are an accredited university. Are also very affordable. 90% of our undergraduate students receive some type of financial assistance. Just in the admissions office, we do give out a merit-based scholarship that is based on your SAT or ACT, and also your GPA coming out of high school. We were rated safest campus in America by alarms.com. We do have a police station on campus. It's actually the Harrogate City Police. It's not just campus security. So yeah, pretty safe here. These are our associate degrees that we have here. And these are all of our bachelor degrees. If you will notice that some of these bachelor degrees have an asterisk next to them, that means that for each of those, you can also complete a teacher certification in that degree path and program. So we have several options there for teachers and people that are looking to go into education. These are our graduate programs that we also have here on campus. So like I said, you can move right through your bachelor's into a master's program. And then these are our professional programs that would follow that. So you would be able to do all of that right here on campus and move from one to the other without actually having to transfer to a different school. Our guaranteed acceptance policy for undergraduate students is a 3.2 or a 19 on your ACT or a 10.10 on your SAT. We are test optional for the fall of 21, and we are currently in the process of discussing whether or not we will remain test optional for the fall of 22. That decision has not been made official yet, but as soon as the committee comes to a decision, that information will be posted on our website for any of you younger students that are looking to come in the following academic year. But for the fall of 21, we are test optional. We also have rolling admissions. So we process applications as they come in and as we receive your transcripts and everything. So once you submit your application and you send in your transcripts and your test scores, if you have them, we will process them usually that day once we get everything. These are the academic scholarships that we give out in the admissions office. Like I was saying, based on your GPA coming out of high school and then what you scored on your ACT, this will put you in one of these categories. So we get to give you a little bit of money. These are 4-year renewable scholarships that come right off the top of tuition. We do not have a application fee if you apply online. So if you go to our website and click the apply button on the top ribbon, it will take you directly into the application. Just click new user and start filling out all of your information. Like I said, there's no application fee for that. Our application for the 2022 year is not open. However, if you are a 2022, you can always fill out your application and give us a call and let us know, and we can change that on our end if you want to get a head start on all of that stuff. So once you submit your application, send in your transcripts and get all of that, and we'll process everything. These are some of the clubs and everything that we have going on campus. We do have, even though we are smaller, Division II, we do have a great campus life. We have a lot going on here. And if there's something that you are interested in that you don't see here, you can always go through the process of starting that club and getting everyone else involved. But that's just a little bit about LMU. Again, my name is Carly Adams. I'm an admissions counselor. I have my information and our main admissions office listed. So if you need something, give us a call.
Thank you. So next up is Auburn University.
All right, War Eagle, everybody. My name is Clayton Short, and I am the mission advisor for Auburn University. I cover Virginia, DC, Maryland, Illinois, and Connecticut. So most of you guys are my students. So a little bit about Auburn. We were founded in 1856, and though our name has changed, our mission has remained the same. We believe in working hard, pushing forward, and doing good for others. We are one of the top public universities in the nation. We're named that again and again. We're also known as the best value in our state, as well as the absolute best. So Forbes, Money, and U.S. News and World Report has said we're the best state or best university in the state of Alabama. So we are on the southeast side in Auburn. So we're about 30 minutes from the Georgia border, about an hour and a half from Atlanta. So when I come to see you guys, I fly out of the Atlanta airport. We do have shuttles that take our students to and from that airport. They take about 14 trips a day. Each trip is about $30 to, like I said, get to and from Atlanta. But we're in a great location in the southeast, about 3 hours from the Gulf Coast beaches, 3 hours from the mountains in Tennessee and North Georgia, 2 hours from Birmingham, which is a larger city in the state of Alabama. So great location, but Auburn is a college town. So the big thing in Auburn is the university. So our downtown area is built for students. So it's built for people ages 18 to like 22, from its hangout spots downtown, restaurants, coffee shops, to even its like clothing stores. So if you're looking for a full collegiate experience, that is Auburn. That top left picture is Toomer's Corner. That's where our downtown area actually meets campus at that corner. It's known for that because of Toomer's drugstore. So our hand squeeze lemonade can be found there. It's on Southern Living's list of 100 things to do before you die, is to try that lemonade. But like I said, that downtown area is great for students as well. But we have about 30,000 students in total enrollment. Our undergraduate population is around 25,000. And then our freshman class is typically around 4,800 students, though it'll be a little bit bigger this coming year. We're about 60% in-state students, 40% out-of-state. We are the land grant institution in the state of Alabama, but we do cover all 50 states, and over 100 countries are represented on campus. So geographically, we have students coming from all over, calling Auburn home. Moving to academics, we have 12 colleges and schools, over 150 majors, so a lot for you guys to choose from. You can go to auburn.edu/majors to see a list of each program within these colleges and schools. We're ranked in every field of study, so no matter what you want to do, all of these are wonderful programs. I always like to talk about the exploratory program. So this program's been around 7 or 8 years. I wish it was around when I was at Auburn, because I changed my major 4 times when I was in college. So this exploratory program actually allows incoming freshmen to begin undecided, explore more. So you'll take a core curriculum course your first 2 semesters of freshman year. So you're not going to get behind in any way. You're just going to be taking your basic fundamental classes, but you'll also have a class that's specifically with the exploratory program where you get to hear about the different programs we have, take interest quizzes and personality tests to kind of give you an idea of what you may be interested in. You get to shadow classes, talk to faculty members and students in majors before you actually have to pick something. So it's just a really great opportunity. Again, these are all wonderful programs. You can go see a list of those majors at auburn.edu/majors. But being at a large school, you have some great opportunities with things to choose from regarding academics. But we have a small town feel, and part of how we keep that is through our class sizes. So we do have surprisingly small classes, and you're going to have deep personal attention from your professors. 80% of our classes have 40 or fewer students. We have a 20-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So your professors are going to know you, know what you're struggling with, but you can still storm a football field with 87,451 people, which is awesome. So a lot of traditions and things that make Auburn unique and part of your college experience while you are here. Obviously, we are an SEC school, so game day and athletics is a fun part of the college experience. Other things, rolling Toomer's Corner after an Auburn victory with toilet paper, hanging out on Sanford Lawn, Tiger Nights. So this is actually a picture of one of our 550 student organizations that we have on campus. It's Dance Marathon. It's a philanthropic organization, but anything you could want to get involved with, we have those opportunities. Our students do plug in to campus. Other traditions we have, Hay Day, where we all slap name tags on and say hey to each other. The pregame Eagle Flight. One of our War Eagles are released from the top of the stadium, and they do a lap around the stadium and land on the 50-yard line before an Auburn kickoff. Hanging out with the marching band and spirit squads. The famous Tiger Walk, where we lead our athletes into their stadium. But again, athletics are a big part of it, but it's more than the game. It's also about being a part of something bigger in the community that comes with being a part of the institution. And here at Auburn, we have a lot of school pride. Auburn people love Auburn. That's why we were ranked #1 on Princeton's Review's colleges with the happiest students for 2020. And they just came out with 2021 a couple of months ago, and we were still on the top 10. We've been on that list in the top 10 for about 6 years in a row. So regarding admissions, we do not have our finalized admissions requirements for 2022 applicants. So that will come out by July. We always have an admissions application. You can find us on our website or the Common App. We'll need your transcript, and we were test flexible this year, so hopefully that will be where we are next year. But we are doing campus tours, so you can go to auburn.edu/visit, come see us on campus. And then this is my email. I'll also put my contact information in the chat as well. But I hope you'll have a good rest of your night, and I get to hand it over to my friend Megan in Alabama as well.
That is correct. Go ahead, Megan.
Thank you, Clayton Ann. Oh my goodness, y'all. I love Clayton Ann's presentation. I love if y'all don't know, Alabama and University of Auburn are definitely rivals, but it's a love-hate relationship for sure. I love Clayton Ann. Okay, give me a second, guys. Let me share my screen. Anybody else got the Monday night brain scaries? Anywho, okay. So y'all, my name is Megan Payne. I work for the University of Alabama. I'm full-time as the regional recruiter for Maryland, DC, and Delaware. And so I actually was born and raised in this area. Grew up in Montgomery County, went to Good Counsel High School before. In about fall 2011, I started at the university. I lived in Tuscaloosa actually for about 7 years, and I absolutely loved it. Don't worry, it did not take me 7 years to get my undergrad. So I ended up staying there and working full-time for our admissions office and loving it and coming up here. I'm now living full-time helping you guys through the enrollment process, application process, scholarships, all of that good stuff. So if you ever are planning on visiting the University of Alabama, visiting Tuscaloosa, please let me know. I'll be sure to be putting in my contact information and everything so you can get a hold of me. But I would love to help you plan an in-depth visit to campus and see what UA has to offer. So a little bit about the university. We are located in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which is an hour. I'll show you guys a map in a couple of slides, but this is our out-of-state publication that we had. It's really great. I'll put the link in for you guys, but it's embedded with a lot of helpful links and different videos and things like that. And so we'll kind of go through this, but I'll show you on the map. Tuscaloosa is just an hour away from Birmingham, Alabama. It's really easy from this area, usually like BWI, DCA, fly from direct flights right into Birmingham. So just about an hour and a half flight, hour drive, and you're in Tuscaloosa. It is a college town, so the population of Tuscaloosa is a little over 100,000 people. And then outside of that, the actual university itself for enrollment, you'll see the numbers right here, but we have a little over 38,000 students total with 32,000 as undergrads. We actually, a little bit different than Auburn, we are 58% out-of-state students. And so the majority of our students are actually from all over the country, which I always love personally, especially as a student. It was really fun. I had best friends from Chicago's a huge area for us, Atlanta, California, Texas, the New England and the Northeast areas. So you'll definitely have a really wide coverage of friends when you attend the university with that many out-of-state students. Give me a second, guys. I'm going to skip my video over. So you'll see just those enrollment numbers right there. And then as you're kind of going through this, those are really helpful. With a little over 38,000 students, we do actually have, and let me scoot down to majors. We have a little over 70 different majors that you can choose from, but we have another 120 concentrations, minors, specializations that you can look into. And also from a major standpoint, if you're kind of wanting to mix and match a couple of different things, we even have an interdisciplinary studies major called New College. So essentially creating your own major. And so I definitely love the different offerings that we are able to have because we have that many majors. We do break it down into 8 different undergraduate colleges. And so you'll see right here, you'll see our College Arts and Sciences, Culver House College Business, College Engineering. Those are actually our top 3 in terms of size. And then they get a little bit smaller, and you'll see on the next page, for those of you who are interested in either social work or nursing, you'll see those there as well. And then we obviously have pre-professional programs. So if you're interested in any like pre-med or pre-health track or pre-law, like we are going to make sure you are prepared for that. But obviously, like pre-med is not an actual major, it's more of a track. So you'll actually pick another major, whether that's biochem, chemical engineering. You actually have a couple different things you can play with. So a lot of different offerings at the university. We definitely pride ourselves on our academic offerings and making sure that you are actually connecting with real world experiences. And so we were named #1 in terms of internship programs in the SEC and #2 in the country by Princeton Review. So our Career Center does a really amazing job making sure you guys are getting that like real world experience and whatnot. And actually, if I show you guys where is the Destiny, I always love that. But you'll see here for like those top 10 cities for our grads, the DC area is actually one of them. So trust me, your families will always want to drag you back home. Trust me from real experience. Outside of the classroom, obviously too, we're going to have different programs, whether undergraduate research, study abroad, co-oping, competition teams. We have over 600 student organizations to get involved in. So there's a lot to be said for what's going to be happening outside of the classroom. How are you going to amp up what you're doing in the classroom, your major, you know, building your resume, things like that. But we feel pretty good about what we're preparing you for once you actually leave the university. And so too, when you're kind of looking through this, definitely check out, here it is. If you get your phone open right now, you can actually go ahead and see like the virtual UA campus tour. It's like a 5-minute little YouTube video that can be really helpful. Let me show you guys this one too. So you can see different student organizations on our campus. We do have the largest Greek system in the country, and so we're really proud of that and what our students are able to accomplish in the Tuscaloosa community and across the country with their different levels of involvement and what they have going on. All freshmen in terms of housing are required to live on campus their first year. I did want to quickly, because I got like probably 20 seconds left, but really quickly, when it comes to scholarships and admissions, please know we are going through some really kind of big changes this year. We're getting on Common App. They're just changes. We're staying test optional, but no matter what, make sure, please connect with me if you're thinking about applying. There's definitely going to be a very different set of, here's what you should do, get it in at this time kind of steps than the usual. So just keep that in mind. But thank you guys so much. I'll put my contact info in the chat. There's the timer.
Thank you so much. So our representative from East Carolina University could not make it this evening, unfortunately. And our representative from University of Louisville had to log off. But I would love for all of our representatives to turn their cameras back on and join us for a little bit of conversation, a little bit of Q&A to talk with our students. And so I guess the first question I would love for you to share with the students and counselors and families, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus, starting with High Point?
I would say my favorite tradition is our Earth Day celebration. We are able to bring in a lot of people from the local community, and High Point was ranked Tree Campus USA for the last couple of years. So it's a great tradition. We're able to give back to the local community, have some cool festivals and food trucks, and be able to have some fun as a campus.
One of my favorite things about LMU is the block parties that we throw. So a big chunk of our university housing is kind of in a semicircle. And so we'll clear out the parking lot for that on a weekend. And there's a sand volleyball court right in the middle of the parking lot. And so we'll throw what we call a block party for all of the students to hang out and with each other and play games and play volleyball with each other, and there's food and drinks, and it's just a really great fun moment during the warmer weather where everybody can come and kind of hang out and get to know some new people from the different buildings and everything. But that's probably my favorite thing that we do here at LMU.
At Auburn, my favorite tradition is probably after, and I mentioned this in my presentation, is Rolling Tumors Corner. So they have some oak trees right again at the corner that downtown meets campus. After an Auburn victory, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, equestrian meets, gymnastics meets, if we win, we take toilet paper and we roll those trees and everything else that's around it, bushes, people, whatever. So it's just a lot of fun to be able to go with both the community and alumni, everyone who's there to those trees. But we're actually the, fun fact, only county in the country with a payroll specifically for cleaning up toilet paper. I get that question a lot. Who cleans it up? We pay people for that.
Yeah, I mean, as a student, I mean, nothing really kind of beats fall Saturdays at any SEC school, right? I mean, in terms of football games and everything like that. But definitely from a spring perspective, I have to shout out our softball team right now. I mean, going to softball games, they might not seem cool right now, guys, but I'm telling you, when you go to Alabama gymnastics and softball, like the support for women's athletics is huge. And so going to an Alabama softball game is definitely like one of my favorite kind of events to go to. And Roll Tide, hopefully you guys will watch us this weekend. Root us on.
So I have another question for our panelists to take a look at. In this process, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
I would say just utilize your resources, use your admissions counselors, ask those stupid questions because we've heard them probably 100,000 times and we're trained and we do a really good job at making sure that we help your process as best as we can for our different schools. So just make sure you're asking those questions, because if you don't, then we can't help you.
My advice for students going through this process would be to make sure that you're going somewhere where you're going to be happy during your career. That's, it's your parents aren't going to school there. They're not the ones that are going to be spending time there. Your friends aren't going to be the ones making those decisions for you. So make sure you're going somewhere where you're going to be happy and you're going to enjoy going back to your dorm and saying, okay, this is my home for, the next year, and then moving into an apartment and stuff. That's going to be really important for you guys, and not letting other people influence where you want to go to school.
For advice for the admissions process, I always encourage students to get a clean, pristine calendar, a little planner. And, if you're applying to 3 schools, pick their school colors and make sure that you put all dates and deadlines in this clean calendar, color coordinated. It just makes it a lot easier. We all have different dates and deadlines for you guys. We all require different things from you. And so that can be really overwhelming. And so when you have it laid out in front of you, it's really hard to miss. And a lot of times students miss these opportunities, like applying for scholarships, because they miss a deadline. And so by not missing a deadline, you are at least maximizing your opportunities for different colleges and options, essentially. So I always say, get a clean calendar, write it all down in the calendar.
I kind of always think for you guys, I mean, there's so many tips. I think we could all literally give probably 100 tips and we would still think of other things. But just remember quality over quantity. And this can be applied for so many things. But let me just give you one example. And that could be your visit. If you're visiting colleges, right? Do you need to visit 40 college campuses? Probably not, especially with the wide range of really like immersive, virtual, like cool videos that you can really get a pretty good feel of. So, right, you probably don't need to go visit 40 schools, but of the schools, that list you're going to be doing, make sure you're having a really quality visit. So I always tell students, I'm like, look, I want to know that you're coming from Maryland. I want to make sure you meet with everybody in person that you can. I can make you busy from 8 to 5. I have some students that I plan 2 days of 8 to 5 from, and they meet with anybody from honors college, study abroad, 3 different academic programs that they're thinking about, STEM to MBA. I mean, so many different things that you can do on our campus. And so making sure you have quality visits besides just doing the campus tour So never be afraid to reach out to an admissions office at any school to see if they will set up those kind of meetings for you with professors or current students, things like that. So just always remember quality things over quantity.
I can't tell you the number of times I have told students that thing you just said. But we are going ahead and close this session for the evening. Thank you so much for joining us. When you close this window, there'll be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd love to hear your feedback if you can provide it. Also, this is one of many sessions being hosted, so make sure you're signing up for more. In about a week, you'll be able to find these sessions recordings and others at strivescan.com/PCACAC. So thank you so much. Bye, y'all.